Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. I have a few tools that I always want with me, and I can either never find them or my pockets are full of them. So for years I've been thinking about making a leather holder for them, and I'm finally going to get round to doing it. This is some 3mm thick veg tan leather. I lay out the items I want to store in the pouch, and then I can get some strips cut. My plan is to have a couple of pockets stacked on top of each other, the back one holding pens and pencils, and the front one a Stanley knife. I also always want to have a tape measure with me, so I've got this little ring that the tape is going to clip onto. On what's going to be the bottom stack of the leather pile, I mark out a little tab for this ring to go onto, and then I can get that cut out. I want this to attach to a belt, and I could easily sew on a loop or cut out a slit, but I've bought one of these clips. This will make it really quick to be able to take on and off. I cut a slit in the leather that this clip can slide through. It has a little hole in the bottom, which means I'm going to be able to attach it with a rivet. So I mark out where that needs to go, and then I can get a hole punched for it. I'm also going to secure that ring for the tape measure with a rivet, so I get some holes punched for that as well. I'm going to use some of these little copper rivets. They're really easy to set, but you need the right tool for the job. First a washer gets bashed down into place, and then any of the excess shaft can be snipped off with some side cutters. The setting tool then has a second portion for doming over the rivet. Now this is a tool I always seem to forget I have, and I really should use it more, as it works great on wood as well as leather. So now I've got 3 layers of 3mm thick leather that need attaching together, and I've never attached anything this thick before. So first I'm going to punch some holes in the corners and attach everything with rivets. This is just going to help hold everything in place so I can get some stitching done later on. So now it's just the same process of setting these rivets into place. With all the rivets set, I can then mark out where I want some stitching to go. I use some dividers to score some lines, and then I can mark out the holes with a pricking iron. Now I would normally use an awl to go through and open these holes up. As this leather's so thick, I'm not super confident about doing that, so I'm going to cheat and use a drill. Now this is definitely not the proper way to do it, but as this is just a utilitarian tool holder, I think it's going to be fine. I actually made a second one, and I used the drill press, as that helped keep the holes nice and straight. With all the holes drilled out, I can get it clamped up in my stitching pony, and then look at getting it all stitched together. I've got some nylon thread, and I'm going to use 2 needles and a saddle stitch to pull everything tight. Even simpler way of doing it would probably just have been to use rivets all the way down the length. As this leather's so thick and stiff, it's a real struggle to actually get anything pushed in it, so I'm going to try and mould it around the tools. I've got a bath of hot water, and I just soak it in there for a few minutes. The leather then becomes really soft and pliable. Now I can get the pencils and the Stanley knife put into place. I'm going to leave them all in there for several days until the leather has fully dried out. Wet forming leather is an amazing process. Not only does it then stay in the shape you formed it to, but it really hardens up. Now everything goes in and out easily into their perfectly sized slots. So an item I didn't make a space for was a pencil sharpener. I took a Stanley tape measure and removed the label. I mixed up a small batch of epoxy and got it spread out on the back of the pencil sharpener. I could then get it stuck onto the front of the tape. This should be nice and secure, but if I ever need to remove it, a bit of heat and epoxy melts. And that's the setup done. Now I should never be looking for a tape, a knife or a pencil again. It's really quick to attach to my belt, and the sharpener works quite well in that position. The pencil sharpener on a tape idea is something I've borrowed from Laura Kampf. So that's it all done and should be really handy. But as I said, I made a second one, and with this one I haven't wet formed it yet. And to go with it, I've got the newer version of the Stanley knife. Now I've got this second one and the knife because the channel's coming up to, or maybe it's already there by the time this video goes up to, a bit of a milestone, and that's 30,000 subscribers. So I'm going to give this away and the knife, and then you can wet form it to the knife and pencils or whatever you want to keep in it. I'm not going to give you a tape measure because I find tape measures a very personal choice, and that's one I like, but you can have whatever one you like with it. So if you'd like to win this, you need to go over to Instagram and like and tag someone on the post. Instructions would be on there. I'm going to say UK only, and you've got to be over 18 because I'm posting out a knife, so it's a little more complicated. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for helping me get to 30,000 subscribers. Go over to Instagram, link down below if you'd like to win this. Thanks to my patrons, and please subscribe for more videos.